Figure 4 Radio.
Hello everybody, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. It's the Mastermind Ollie Spring. Today is a jumbo-sized podcast because I'm joined by Big T Justice.
Jumbo size.
Jumbo, is that you happy with that?
I get it because of my height.
How tall are you?
This person. I am 7 foot.
Exact. 7 foot tall. That's like, does that? I'm presuming that helps you. It must help you in wrestling because you obviously stand out. Is there any negative points to it? Is it like?
I have a list.
I guess like car journeys are quite tough for you.
It's mainly car journeys because I'm like the biggest person there. So anyone who's travelled with me knows that I end up taking a bit more stuff than I should do. And I always do call shotgun, unless if it's.
Which do you fit in the back of a car unless it's a limo?
No, there are some cars that I fit in the back of, but I will be if it's somewhere that's quite a long distance. If it's going to be me and other people on the way there, I'll make sure I'm in shotgun, but on the way back, if it's a long journey, I'll make sure I sit in the back in case I need to nap.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't feel right being at the front.
That's fair.
And me sleeping, because
take note, people.
Etiquette is like if you're in the front, you need to drive her awake. But if it's just me, then I would just like stay up and make sure that I'm there just talking to the driver and make sure they're awake.
Cool. So, where to start? How long have you been wrestling?
Shows, it's been, I'm on my 4th year.
Wow, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm still training for actually like 4 years altogether, if you're doing that.
Yeah,
so my first year was just managing.
Okay, that's cool.
Just managing, was that your Future Shock.
Was that your plan? Were you always wanting to just be a manager, or was that your foot in the door?
No, I wanted to wrestle, if I'm honest, but managing was a foot in the door.
Yeah.
So I trained. Well, there's a place in Blackburn that I trained at RWL that's considered a quote-unquote yarders place, but I was still doing safe stuff. I wasn't doing moonsaults or like. It's
interesting. This whole yarding thing comes up more than I ever expected it to on my podcast with many of you. Like, I don't know, I'm still trying to get my head around it and. Because there's loads of stigmas about it. So, when you said that, do you take it as yarding as being a bad thing, or?
No, for me, because it was through a friend who I worked with in retail, who told me about it, and I just thought that was the only. That's how you get your foot in the door.
Okay.
So when I approached the place, I didn't think to myself, "Oh, this isn't what I expected." I just considered it as just a place to do wrestling training. Then, as I started training during the years, people were saying, "Oh, it's a yarders place" and things. But I don't regret it because I got to meet some good people.
Yeah. But you never actually yarded in whatever you're not.
No, it was not where we trained. Is that there was a unit and there was an actual ring.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were.
I know some proper training schools that don't even have a ring. So
so this place it had a wrestling ring in it. So we were doing stuff. The ropes were fine. We could do stuff in it. It's not like we were out in the streets doing 450s and doing style presses and DDTs. No, there was an actual ring.
Yeah.
We practiced the basics. So hitting the ropes, doing body slams, suplexes, working on the footwork and everything. And then that's when I went to Future Shock Wrestling in Manchester. Because I got some advice from Sam Bailey, Ashton Smith, T-Bone and Harvey Dale to go to Future Shock. And that's when I went there, and that's when I started, learning more about the British wrestling scene.
Yeah.
When I went to it, I had no idea about it. Like, I'm still learning to this day.
Yeah, everyone's still learning, I think, if you ask me. Like, I think if you ever get to a point where you're not still learning, you should probably stop. So I always say this. I always go back to the start. How did you discover wrestling? Like, one day you hadn't watched it, the next day you were like, wow, this is cool. Like, can you remember how you were exposed to it?
I remember watching it. It was WCW at first I watched on Channel 5. Mm-hmm. When it was me and it's just me and mum because I come from a single parent family. The TV channels we had was only channels 1 to 5. So anyone who's had those channels kind of knows.
Do you remember Channel 5 first coming out?
No.
Trying to tune your telly and try and find it.
Actually, no. I remember. Actually, now that you bring that up, I remember having because I had like one of those old school TVs. I had like these small buttons which we had to like tune into to get channel 5.
To actually turn the that was
yeah. So watching Channel 5, it was WCW. So I was watching
Friday nights, wasn't it?
Friday nights on Channel 5. And they sometimes would do TNT on Cartoon Network afterwards.
Okay.
That was when I got cable.
Yeah, we never had that.
When I got cable a little later. But yeah, it was WCW. I remember watching, who was it? There was Sting, there was Booker T, I'm not sure if it was, I think Hulk Hogan was still there at the time as well.
Oh wow! See, when I was watching WCW on Channel 5, it was like the B show. Oh, was it Thunder? You know the one. The mid carders was. So I only saw like old Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, people like that. Like I never saw the main players of WCW when I was watching that.
So that's how I got started. That's how I got started watching into it, and then I was able to. Then I got tuned into WWF watching Sunday Night Heat on Channel 4.
Okay, yeah.
That's that I remember. And then my cousins. Because me and my cousins were big wrestling fans, so I'd go over to my cousin's house. They had cable, so they had Sky Sports and everything. So I'd go over to their house. We'd watch Raw, we'd watch SmackDown as well. So that's how we got started. That's how I got started like watching into wrestling.
Can you remember who it was that like stood out for you when you were first watching? Because I'm hoping like this is. I always like to hear because it's never the big names. There's always someone weird that like because for me. For some reason, the person that stood out in WCW on Thunder was Tank Abbott. Most random wrestler ever. Like, no, he shouldn't be memorable for anybody, but for me, like, I remember his knockout punch. I was like, wow, that guy is legit. So, was there anyone that stood out for you that was nice and weird?
I would say Billy Kidman.
Okay, yeah.
I would say Billy Kidman just because of his style, because all that.
I loved the shooting star.
Exactly. Yeah. So he stood out for me. In WWF, you know, of course, it was the main players like The Rock, Stone Cold. Kane and The Undertaker, but some of my favourites also who may not have been a ton of the bigger guys. There was S.A. Rios, there was Eddie Guerrero, there was also Dino Brown, the Godfather as well. Like just their characters, they really stood out to me. And then later on, because we moved house, I was then able to get Sky One, and then that's how I was able to watch SmackDown. You know, SmackDown on Saturday mornings after The Simpsons. Yeah, of course. So I was able to watch SmackDowns, you know, when if anybody got hit on with the chair, or if a guy hit one of the women, they cut the crowd. You just see the fan reacting to nothing. Exactly. Then watching Livewire, so I can catch up on Raw, because that's when they show clips of Raw, and then also SmackDown as well. So yeah, that's how I got started into wrestling. So just watching those, then of course living on the game. So on Nintendo, it was WrestleMania. It was WCW, No Mercy. I've still got my Nintendo 64, No Mercy to this day.
Good man, the same I've got all my classics.
And then on PlayStation, it was SmackDown Know Your Role, and then on PS2, SmackDown Just Bring It. Shut Your Mouth. Here Comes the Pain. So just living off those, and you know.
So that's for me. That's how I learned about the people that were on the shows I couldn't watch. So that's where I learned about like pretty much the entire WWF roster. But at that point, I had no idea. And how did you transition into like what do you remember? What point you went from watching it to thinking I want to do this, or was it just meeting that guy at work? And
it was, to be fair, it was leading up to it. I was thinking like I do want to get involved in it, because I was thinking like, this is something that I do want to do. So I kind of like I do like some physical stuff. Like even like if me and my cousins wrestle. We were always quite physical with each other, and I remember just growing up thinking that's something that I really want to get myself involved in. So I remember researching schools.
And was this before you'd seen like indie wrestling? Did you know there was a British scene at this point?
No, I didn't have an idea, but I had no idea. Like I'd probably seen before, like in Manchester, because that's where I lived, and I also lived in Blackburn and Preston now. But I remember just seeing like a couple of posters and I was thinking it says wrestling, but I never thought it was anything major. It's funny, I only knew about the American independent scene from researching it on YouTube, but the British scene I had no idea about. And then when my friend was telling me about it, I was, that's when I was like, okay, so this is how I do it. But before that, I was researching schools, but never had like I just thought it's probably just one of those things I didn't actually like go for it. But then I ended up going.
So was it? You say it was 4 years ago you started training?
Yes.
What can you remember what it was like walking into that kind of school for the first time? Like not knowing other wrestlers and.
It's nervous because when you step into anything for the first time, whether it's wrestling training, whether it's a new job, whether it's school or anything new, when you're stepping into something for the very first time, especially if you don't know a lot of people, it's nerve-wracking. So just stepping into it, I didn't know what to. I knew it was going to be quite. I knew it was going to be quite physical because even growing up, I remember watching shows like Tough Enough. So then seeing how they got put through, see how they got through those paces. So that's what I thought to myself. Well, it's probably going to be something like that. So I think. So as soon as I had my first lesson, I was like, okay, this is something that I really want to do, and I can consider me doing this for a very, very long time.
Cool. How long were you training before you had your first match? Like proper match, not necessarily like trainee rumble or dark match. Like the first time you were in front of a proper crowd. And
I'll tell you what. I was involved in the rumble.
Okay.
But this was on an actual show. This was a Future Shock show.
Okay.
So this was an actual rumble that I was involved in.
Did you do much in it?
I did some bits. This is bearing in mind this was after I trained for 8 months. So I did some stuff in it, which was good. Watching it back now, because I didn't find out I was in the rumble to the very last minute.
Okay.
So I didn't have any gear on me, so I had to borrow somebody else's singlet. I got
it fit?
Oh yeah, it fit, but there's more to this.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a black t-shirt from Primark and cut the sleeves.
Okay.
I had to get these big safety work boots from what's the name of the Windsor's shoes or something like that. And that was my gear. So I just remember back in there thinking, oh my goodness, this is like proper. This is I look legit. And I remember I saw a photo of it. I saw a photo of it recently. I was thinking, God, what the hell was I thinking?
Is that on social media?
No. That is in the privacy of my own storage files, where it will never see the peak of day by anyone ever.
Is the rumble footage anywhere either, or?
It's on the Future Shock page.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, like watching it back, of course it's different, but it's nothing that I feel embarrassed about.
Okay, that's good.
It was an opportunity for me. For me to wrestle. I know it's during the 10th anniversary, and it's always a moment that I'll be grateful for.
And everyone starts somewhere. Yeah. Like everyone starts somewhere. Do you remember your first match where it wasn't like you actually had to plan some stuff? It wasn't just a rumble, like.
Do you mean like when it was a proper like a singles match?
Yeah, or singles or tag, or just like because to me rumbles are good, but rumbles is I don't always classify them as like a proper debut because you're there to kind of make up numbers and go over the top rope.
But still,
can you remember the first time you weren't just making up numbers? No offense to anyone who's been around, but you know what I mean. Like,
of course, I know what you mean, because it's still classified as it, because it's still a case of where people get to showcase things. And
true.
It's like it's a first impression, so that really doesn't mean a lot. But the first time that I had a match was at the PCW Academy, because that's where I am right now.
Yeah.
It was in 2016. Mm-hmm. So it was my first singles match in front of a crowd.
Who was that with?
It was against a guy called James Finn, who I train with. He wrestles up north in the PCW Academy, and he's wrestled at some other shows around the Northwest as well.
Okay.
So that was good. With that, I had a bit more confidence going in. Into it, because when I debuted, that was back in August 2014 when I did the Rumble, and now moving on to 2016. Of course, things have changed.
Got a bit more experience. Yeah. So, how did the match go? Were you happy with it? Was it?
Yeah, I won.
Yeah.
Of course, I won.
But,
so I'm happy. Of course, I was happy.
Yeah, your actual performance. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got me the victory, so yeah, of course I'm happy.
Fair enough. And that was 2016.
Yeah, so January 2016, so just over 2 years ago.
Cool, right. So you've wrestled on Progress now, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And do you want to name drop any other places to go before I start digging into that?
There's Progress. There's Future Shock. There's of course PCW, the PCW Academy, and of course the main shows as well. There's also British Wrestling Entertainment, British Wrestling Revolution, 4GW, Hope Wrestling, Sacrifice. Where we are now.
So 4 years, you've actually done It's you've done quite well for yourself.
I think I've done. No, I think there's actually a couple more. I think there's a couple more. Yes, there's Anarchy Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Where else? There's ACW. There's ACW as well. A place that's really like done. Another place that's really done a lot for me. I think that's so far as I'm aware. No, and there's also there's Tidal Wrestling.
Wow.
And I feel like there's some other places as well that.
But you've done really well so far. Yeah. So to be honest, I mean, no disrespect to everyone else, but I kind of want to dig into the progress side of things, as I'm sure most people do. They're a big deal. I don't really follow. I'll be honest. I'll hold my hands up. I don't really follow progress. Like, I just know it's a big deal. If that makes sense. Like, I don't have a progress account to watch on demand. I pay attention to the things that people share. Were you booked on there just off the back of everywhere else, or was that somewhere that you put time into training there as well? Because it's a long journey for you, right?
That's something that I put my time into. I'll tell you what. The first time when I watched Progress, I remember seeing it because they put one of their free shows online. I remember just watching it. Was
that the one where they hard camoed messed up?
I think so.
With Devitt coming out as a Joker.
Yeah,
that's the only one I've ever watched. Yeah.
So I remember seeing it and I was thinking, oh, this is quite good. But I remember one match. There was been quite a lot, and it was quite hard for me to like digest. So I was like, "Oh, they've just done this." I'm like, "Oh, this is good," but no, it just took time for me to digest. I was like, "Okay, this is a lot." They're doing a lot of stuff. So I remember going to one of their shows, and it's different when you see stuff sometimes on the internet. You sometimes think, "Oh, it's a lot to take in," but when you go there in person, it's a different experience. I remember going there, and I was like, "So this is why people like it so much, because the atmosphere is so." Good. So
it plays such a big part of the shows, in my opinion.
So my journey leading up to there was when I was doing ring crew. There was one wrestler who I don't remember who it was, and they're probably gonna get annoyed because I don't remember who it was. They said to me that Progress was coming to Manchester, which I was aware of, and that they needed some wrestlers to do ring crew. Darryl Allen, who's head of the Knuckle Locks now, so he's such a really good trainer, good wrestler. He also put my name forward to do the ring crew stuff. So I emailed them as well, saying, "Oh, hi, my name is Big T. I'm a wrestler. I want to know if you guys need help doing ring crew." And then John got back to me saying, "Oh yeah, that's fine. You can just come on down and stuff." So I started doing ring crew for them in Manchester. I've also done it for London, done it for Sheffield as well. They've always been really nice to not just me, but also other guys, because they really appreciate the fact that people want to take time and like help out with the shows. So back in late 2016, I went down during the week to the Progress Training School when it was the Projo at the time. Yeah. And I just did training there. Because I remember beforehand I got an email from National Express saying that they're doing a deal on National Express coaches for like single journeys to London from £1. Nice. And I saw it and I thought, well, why not? Yeah. So I travelled down. I'd leave my house in the morning, get there in like the afternoon.
So how long is it to get from like Manchester to London?
Well, I travel from Preston.
Yeah.
5 hours. Jeez. Probably about close 5, almost close to 6 hours. Yeah. So I'd go there because I didn't know anybody that well at the Progress Training School, so I couldn't like say, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be coming here for the week. Can I stay? Can I stay over at your house?" Because I didn't know anybody that well till then. So I'd go there, train, get the last coach, back to Preston, and then I'd probably either the next or the day after I'd come back and train, and then I'd do the same thing. I did that for about a couple of months, and then
couple of months.
I think it was about a month, probably about a month or so.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't just a one-off. So it was a.
No, I didn't do. I didn't just the ones. I did it. Quite a few times,
and it's paid off. I guess, exactly. I know people that won't travel, half an hour to go to training. So
what are you up to?
This is it. Yeah, it's just proves that it pays off. Yeah. So what was your first Progress match? Like, because my perception is that it is like I guess like a bigger deal than most other
I'd still say, because there are other promotions, Force Progress is one of the top ones, but you've also got like PCW as well, and then also Future Shock. Of course, with PCW, of course, like things have changed where you know there was like loads of imports as well.
I was going to say that because I'm not thinking PCW are the ones that were like they brought in everybody. Like, if someone big was coming to this country, they would be
now like imports still get used, but probably not heavily as much.
Okay, that's good.
It's given guys like me a chance to like showcase what we've got as well in the PCW shows, which is always good.
I guess you almost don't need the imports now because there's so many guys in the British scene that are making waves in America as well that we're almost like they're almost becoming the well, not even imports, they're the exports, I guess. Like,
I'd probably say it's that the British guys that are, there's, you know, with the ones who have been doing this for a long time and of course making waves overseas, they're the ones who are kind of like, I'd say probably reminding the crowd over here, like, you know, us guys, we can do it just as good, if not better, than imports are doing it. So. But for the progress stuff, my first match there was two dark matches. Like, I still consider whether it's a dark match or a pre-show, I consider that.
You're still in front of a paying crowd ultimately.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Because the thing is, it's like even if it's just a dark match, it's still a match. You're still performing in front of a crowd.
And was it a tag or was it singles or?
It was two tag matches. Yeah. So it's two tag matches in March 2017, and then that's when I had my first on-show match. It was a tag match with me and OJ versus Alex Cupid and Dylan.
Yeah, because actually Cupid was on last week and he was kind of telling me the story of training with them, and like they have like different levels. I think he was saying like you have to kind of pass the first grade sort of thing, and then you move on to the second grade, like beginners and intermediates. Like,
well, most places, they have beginners and intermediates. I think the good thing for me, which I was really appreciative of, the fact that when I would go down there, because Daryl knew that I could still, you know, the experience I had at the time. Yeah. So he allowed me to train with the intermediates and the advanced group. Cool. And one of the things they do is that they do like a little show inside the Knuckle-Locks. Okay. And Daryl would contact me saying, "Oh, are you able to do this? Are you able to do that? Are you able to come down to the shows?" Which I'm always appreciative of. Yeah. So I was able to do that. I did a tag match with OJ against Oshin and Charlie Carter. Which we did, and then it led to us being booked on the show against Never Said Die, which is really good. Yeah. And then from there we did a tag match against Oshin Delaney and Charlie Carter at the ballroom. Yeah. In a pre-show, which was a really good experience. And then afterwards, me and OJ faced RJ Singh and Darrell Allen, which was definitely a highlight of my career because it was like new school versus old school in that respect, especially because those guys are such an established tag team, and then with me and OJ were up and coming. So just during that match, I feel like it was a real test for us, which I will always appreciate. It's one of my favourite matches. And then what I want to do after that, I'm trying to think. I had a match with Spike Gervais in February.
He's doing a lot right now, like. Yeah, it's crazy seeing his feed, like seeing exactly where he's going. He's breaking out.
I don't agree with his views, but you know,
in what way? I don't know his views. I just see where he's booked some matches he's in, I guess. But
have you not seen his views?
What's his views? Is this not for the podcast? Oh wait, no. Someone was saying something about this. I think. What's his views?
Have you not?
I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna say no for now. I haven't seen.
Have you not seen?
No.
He's a very good. Spike Gervais is a very good wrestler. Yeah. I may not agree with his political views.
Okay.
Then we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Right. I will have a little look onto it now. Cool. So as a wrestler, do you see it as kind of like there's certain places that are? I'm always trying to find the right way of putting it. Like, I guess like. Bigger, well, I won't say better, but I don't know, like better run, like more of a business than a kind of an indie, as it were.
Every promotion has got something different to offer. Of course, like, you know, when people say what the top promotions were going to be like, ICW, PCW, Future Shock, Future Shock, Progress, places like Ref Pro and Over the Top Wrestling. But I think what people forget is that even though there might be some shows that might not be considered the top shows, they still have a lot to offer.
Oh no, of course, this is why I'm trying to, because in my mind it's almost like I guess it kind of like not leagues, but like there's certain, obviously progress is above sacrifice. At this moment in time, as far as, you know, we're not in London, we're not joining the crowds, we're not flying over to America to put on shows. So there's obviously a bit of a difference in league there. So yeah, and it's the same I guess with wrestlers. Is like, in my mind, there's certain people who are more prolific, more, I don't know, they've got more eyes on them than other wrestlers. So I'm kind of, in my mind, I'm always kind of thinking about who's at what level, I guess. So do you not see that then as a? I might just be. Is that me being a complete fan there?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably. No, but this is just my opinion of things. Like, if people go to shows strictly like the top shows all the time, and then if they go to a show, if they go to a show that might be not as busy, they're probably going to feel like their expectations have been let down. But there are loads of shows that've got so much to offer.
And I've got a few friends that are like that, yeah.
Like, even like there's loads of family shows like this one, like Sacrifice, for example. You know, some family shows that I've worked at, which is the complete opposite of the adult shows I'm used to working on. But it's still drawing a good crowd. They've still got such good wrestlers who entertain the fans, always bring a good crowd, and then the crowd leaves happy. Like, the amount of family shows I've been on, where the kids that I've even worked on, the kids will come out smiling, the families are really happy and all that stuff. So I probably think it's just you being a complete fan.
that's
that's not wrong with that. I mean, we're all fans here.
Yeah. So I've got a friend who he literally only goes to IPW in Milton Keynes. He's been to a few Sacrifice shows, but
there we go. That's the one. IPW. That's another one on the list.
Yeah, that you want to.
That I've worked on.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Another one on the list that I completely forgot. So I was thinking, there's a show, there's a promotion. Oh, one thing I've not mentioned. IPW is another one that I've worked on, which I have not mentioned. There'll probably be another one.
And they're doing good stuff at the moment as well. I've got this friend, and he'll always turn up to shows like Sacrifice and pick holes at the things that they don't do that the bigger ones do, I guess. So like, even down to the fact that, your hard cam's over there, that tag guy shouldn't be standing in that corner, he should be over here. Really little nitpicky things, I guess.
Is your friend picks that out?
Yeah.
Is he a wrestler?
No.
Okay, well.
Yeah, he's just a fan. He's just a fan. Like, I call him a money mark because he literally just goes to the big shows, and he always complains, but he'll still spend 20 quid.
But the thing is, let's just say for example, like you have a show like Sacrifice that does exactly the same thing as what Progress or what PCW does. It's like, okay, you've done all this, and then you start attracting, like, maybe let's say for example a bigger crowd if it were, but then people will be like, oh wait, the wrestlers don't wrestle like the Progress guys do. Let's just say for example that Sacrifice starts bringing lots of Progress guys on. Where's the room for the other guys who have been part of Sacrifice, who have helped bring the crowds in and things like that? So it's all good to compare, but everyone does things differently. That's what's beautiful about wrestling. Everyone's got their own different styles, everyone's got their own different looks, everyone does things differently. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong, you know, if someone says, oh, maybe try this, maybe try doing that, but there's no need to compare it to somewhere else, because that place is different for a reason.
Good. That's a good viewpoint.
But what people also forget is that the shows that are quite big at the moment, I don't think they started at the very top.
Of course not. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, I'm sure Progress started at smaller venues, and it's just caught on. No, that's cool, because like, I guess I'm still kind of learning about. It's just good to get people's because I'm getting booked places, but I'm not physically involved in the same way that you are, and I guess you've seen a hell of a lot more than I have in 4 years, which is crazy, because I think I'm just over 4 years now, so we probably started about the same time, and that's cool to see.
Riptide is another one. Sorry,
you did drop. I think you did.
No, I didn't mention Riptide. No, I didn't mention Riptide, which is bad, because I was just there 2 days ago. So Riptide is another place I worked at.
If I was to ask you the question, where's your favourite place to work at, would you give me an answer?
Oh Lord,
you don't have to. I'm saying, is there places that you prefer? How PC are you going to be with this?
In terms of location, I'll say PCW first, because that is,
it's not a 6-hour coach drive.
It takes about 20. It takes about, if someone's dropping me off, it takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But everyone's got. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've got preferences for places, but in a different way for different reasons.
Okay.
PCW will be number one. That's because that's where I've trained at for quite some time. That's the time I've invested in. PCW is the first show British show that I went to, and each time I went to their shows before I started training, I'd be like, I want more of this, I need to get involved in this. And also the fact that I've been given the opportunity to wrestle on the main shows, and it's full of my trainers as well. I'll say next one is ACW, which is based in London. Because that's a promotion that started up just about
Apollo.
Apollo Championship Wrestling, that started up just about a year ago. And I sent them a message, and they put me on, I think it was their second or third show.
Cool.
So for me, I was thinking that's a good place that's giving me an opportunity, and they've only just opened up as well.
Tej is forever talking about them as a place that we should try and get in, and I don't think he's actually tried to get in touch with the guy, but he's always talking about we should try and get in. Like,
there's not been asking. That's actually going to be something that I've got an opinion about when it comes to messaging promoters, but I'll mention in a sec. Where else? There's also Anarchy as well, because that's where me and Michael went there me and OJ went there as a tag. Okay. So that's where me and him worked as a tag, and we got such good reactions, led to a couple of other good matches there as well. Where else? Riptide as well.
That's Brighton.
That's the Brighton one.
And they're the ones with the fucking amazing video packages.
Yes.
That's it's all filmed in like super slow mo. 24 HD.
Yeah. Mainly because
3 million.
It's mainly because the promoter, like all the other promoters have, but this promoter, he's made sure that we're really taken care of.
Yeah.
They've got what have they got? They have apartments for us.
Wow.
Or hostels up for us if we're ever thinking of staying the night over. So that's pretty cool. Place. Apart from the journey to Riptide, that's a different story.
Gonna say, so how many hours is that? That's another like 2 hours on top.
It took me 7 hours to get there.
Jesus Christ.
It took me 7 hours to get there, which was fun.
Yeah, and that's insane.
Progress is progress as well, because it's led me to quite a few more opportunities, and also is as like PCW has, but Progress has also given me that that really good exposure as well. Where else? I would say IPW as well. When it was before I got took over by new management, I got to work. Exposed me to more workers and more got to more workers who are almost at my level working on shows. So I got to meet some really good people there. I got to work with Mark Lloyd and also Cuban as well. I was meant to get him on the pod last week. I think he was stuck in traffic, and the doors were open way earlier than we were expecting. So we lost the opportunity. But he's on my podcast hit list. He's going to be on here soon enough. But I think he's one of the most underrated in the country at the moment. He's really good. So good. And his character with our bank stuff. Love it. But that's the one thing I guess the only time I hate being a commentator is like his little kind of in-ring promo that he always does. I just want to be in the crowd enjoying it, and I've got to be on the comms. Like I'd love to be for once just in the crowd watching a Mark Lloyd match instead of calling it. But yeah, I love that guy. Where else? So so we went to work with new workers at IPW. That's been really good. And then when we got bless you. Excuse me. Hay fever is killing you today, man. I'm never going to start on that. But then when we got taken over by new management, because they took over from Lucha Forever when they did. When they took over the Tuesday night shows in Manchester, so the Tuesday night grabs, so IPW has let me be a part of that as well, which is really good, appreciative of. I would say, like every other place that's just given me the opportunity, because the amount of talent that's there on the card, I'd say each Jesus. Each show that we booked on, even if it's just been one show, it's just to be appreciative of the opportunity, as cliche. Of course, it's not. I'll be honest, I wasn't even expecting an answer. I always ask people for favourites, so they're like, everywhere's good, man. No one wants to. Yeah, that's just a process. That's just a process I have. That's cool. And what were you going to say about messaging promoters? That's just. For me, I'm part of those where if you don't ask, you don't get.
True.
I mean, there are some people who don't have to, and I guess that's the level of experience and what they have to offer.
You're lucky enough to be approached rather than do the approach.
I've had a mixture of both, where I've been approached, but then when I've asked, it's been a case where I've asked and they've either been told no, or I've been told we don't have anything for you right now. Or the fortunate one has been, oh yeah, well actually we do have something for you. How about this? So if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Yeah. And maybe it's down to things like experience, because some guys who have done this for quite a number of years, who don't have to ask. But I'm still in a case of where I'm still up and coming, I'm still learning. So
even after 4 years, you're still on the up.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. That's the key. I'm looking at the time. Like we're trying to go, and I think you need to kind of stay away from that window now, right?
I think I'm alright.
The pollen getting you?
No, I think I should be alright.
Fuck, hey, do you want to cut a 20-minute promo on pollen?
No. I mean, I'm fine. I mean, if there's still some stuff we can talk about. All-Star. There we go. All-Star Wrestling.
You just keep coming out. How many promotions have you worked, man? This is insane. This is good, though.
I've done about 105 or 6 matches, but wow. All-Star.
Do you keep a track of those? Like,
I put on my Facebook and my Twitter I took pictures of my matches, so I wrote down like all my list of matches and I wrote them down.
Have you seen my graphics? I've only done one so far. So like, for every 25 pay shows I get, I'm doing this graphic that has the name of everybody I've commentated for in. I'm not sure if you're in. I have to have a quick check. I'm not sure if you were in the first 25 or if you're going to be in the 51. But yeah, so I'm a huge fan of like keeping a track of how many things you do. I don't think you're on here yet. I don't think you're on it, but you will be obviously for the next one.
But All-Star, that's another place which I really enjoy working at. Because
are All-Star the ones that, because there's a promotion, there was a wrestling show on at Milton Keynes Theatre, and there was no I didn't see it anywhere until the night it was happening. I think the only thing I saw was a tweet from Ligero saying, tonight I'm with whoever it is at Milton Keynes Theatre, and I was like, what the fuck? Where is this show pops up from? Or like, do they do all like the hype? Like,
no, All-Star they post around. I mean, I know All-Star's been, I think, around for about 50 years.
They've been around forever. Yeah.
One of my trainers, Dean Allmark, was really super talented. Got me on that show.
Cool.
He got me and my tag partner Sheikh El Sham, one of my best friends in wrestling, who I really enjoy working with. Have you heard of Sheikh El Sham before?
I'm going to say no, if I'm being honest.
If you research some of his stuff, his character, his promo, his mannerisms, he's done it a little less. He's done it a little less than I have, but he's been doing so well at the moment. So we've done stuff, and also we've been able to work with some really great guys. We've worked with Danny Collins. We also worked with James Mason as well, which was really good. So hopefully I'm actually going to be part of the summer camps this season.
Cool.
But not for only for about a couple of weeks.
So it all counts.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a whole new, I guess, way of doing things. From what I gather from the camps, it's just
it'll be an experience for me, because I've done family shows and I've done quite recently a lot of adult shows, but I've not done camp shows. That's been consistent throughout the summer, so that's something that I'll be looking forward to.
Do you have a preference of the show that you work? Would you rather do the adults or the families?
No, I don't have a preference. I would say like any show, if I get the opportunity to work out, regardless of regardless of like the number of crowds, whether it's adult or child show, as long as I can go out there, as long as I can perform out there, and of course also sell some merchandise as well. Even like if I get the chance to perform, as long as I can leave somebody happy, leave a kid entertained. One of the most important messages that I got taught, we were doing a seminar at PCW with Cassius Ono, Chris Hero.
Okay, yeah.
One of the things that he taught us, he said to us, and it's always stuck with me ever since he told me this was 4 years ago, but it's always stuck with me. He broke it down like this, is that whenever we see a family, whenever there's a family that comes to a wrestling show, if it's a case of where if they're working or if they're not, but if they're working, for example, let's just say the mother or father, they're working, they're spending 7-8 hours at a job, providing, doing back-breaking labor and things like that, and then they've got to try and save money, and then so they've got to pay for things like the essentials, food, clothes, and everything like that. So if they're coming to a wrestling show, they're taking probably about an hour or two to travel.
Yeah.
You know, they've had to take money out of their accounts that they could have, that's for essentials to pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
They've also got to spend things like buy money, program, tickets, merchandising for the kids,
and everything, and the whole
like that. So that's even
food when you're out.
Exactly. So that's even more money, and they've got to get transport or taking trains, coaches, buses, whatever. So it's time out of their day, and they're probably tired from like working and things like that. But they're doing it for the kids to have a good time, and they're paying to see us. In my opinion, each time you go out there, you always give 100%.
I'm not saying that by any stretch.
Because it's a case of like, they're finally taking time out to see you. So whenever he told me that message, I think he told me probably a bit better than that. I probably analysed it a bit more.
I get
ever since you told me that, that's always stuck with me. So I always do my best to to give it 100%. Each time I go out there. So I don't really say that I have a preference, but of course, PCW being the place that I've trained at and the place that I consider home and the place that I've spent so much time in, and it's much closer to me than everything.
I just can't believe that 7-hour trip to.
I've traveled to places where I've just gone just to help out. Because I can't.
It's like today, and were you at Hope yesterday?
Yeah, I was at Hope. I was at Hope yesterday, just helping out the ring, and then
you weren't booked then. You didn't. So and same today. You just making the journeys, making the effort. And
well, luckily I didn't have to go back home, and then I didn't have to go back home.
True.
But it's for me, I can't depend on of course with my size, it makes me unique, and I make sure that I use that, and that's my plan. Because I want to become like the very best because of how different I am, with my size, and also the stuff I can do. I can probably do some stuff that some people can't do, but you can't depend on, it's well and good having talent, but you can't really depend on that all the time, because some people might be like, okay, you can do this, you can do this. Show me that you want this. And that's what you've got to demonstrate.
Top 5 people you've never worked but you would like to work that is at least a possibility at the moment.
That's at least a possibility.
Top 5. Don't go picking Balor and
listen. I've had a tryout. I had a tryout last year.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Should we
indulge in that? Have we got time?
We've got as much time as we want.
Okay.
If you want to talk,
I'll indulge it. So we had for those who don't know, I had a WWE tryout last year.
I completely forgot about that. Completely forgot. Firstly, how did you get that?
I got an email from them.
How did they get your email?
A couple of the WUK guys passed my name forward on, so I remember getting an email from them. I was in a hotel on a Saturday Sunday night. I had a massive kebab, chips, and I had a drink. And I remember seeing this email like, dear talent, your name's been before to take part in the tryout. And then I was like, okay. And then I messaged a couple of the UK guys. I said, is this legit? They're like, yes, legit. I remember thinking, this is so good. And I was excited. Well, I had a kebab in my hand. I'm like, okay. So I got rid of that.
Do you know who was it put your name forward? Was it like a secret, or?
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention names.
Oh, that's fair. But do you?
I know who it is. I know it is. And that person, if they're listening to it, they know how grateful I am, and I've always mentioned it to them.
Okay, so you get an email. And then is it you just turn up at whatever major arena, or?
We showed up at the arena.
Which one was yours?
Manchester.
Of course.
Mine was in Manchester, which was a godsend.
It
was only just under an hour away.
Yeah.
We did so. They took us through the paces. So day one, I think it was just a feeling out process.
Oh, was it a few days worth?
It was 2.5 days.
Shit.
It was 2.5 days. So the first day was the feeling out process, where they had us do rows, loads of cardio stuff, loads of conditioning stuff as well.
You a fan of that?
It's sometimes, to be honest, you know what? I do to a degree. I do enjoy it, but it's also good because it also pushes me and sees how far I can go. I mean, not necessarily match. You probably see me doing loads of jumps and cartwheels and.
Can I say is it the judo rolls they're called, or like the Are those hard?
Shoulder rolls.
Yeah, yeah. Is that harder for you being 7 foot or
no?
No. Okay, cool,
I
cool.
can do that fine.
Cool.
That's So it was, we're doing conditioning stuff. Luckily, I've been practicing loads of conditioning stuff.
Yeah.
A bit more because we do it in training anyway. But I made sure I did a bit more. So I made sure like I dieted, ate very clean, just made sure I pushed myself beforehand. So when I was doing it, it was a case of I was thinking, oh, I'm doing quite well. I mean, it still pushed us, and each time I got tired, I just kept going forward. And then the second day was even more intense because they pushed us even further. But it was always been an experience I'd be grateful for. I remember seeing it on the website. I think it was the second day, and I remember I got a message. Actually, Cupid was like, "Oh, have you seen this?" I'm like, "What?" And then he showed me the link, and then it was a link of all of us who took part in the tryout. I'm like, "Oh wow, I'm on a WWE website."
Yeah,
that's
got to be mad, right?
Yeah, it's very surreal. And I remember just putting it on social media. I was like, "I'm on the website, guys. Have a look."
Yeah. Yeah. Who was on that kind of loop with you, that training loop?
You mean on the who was on the tryout? It was me, Little Miss Roxy, Primate, Mark Coffey, Jackie Polo, Ashton, Sammy Smooth, Danny Duggan, Isla Dawn, Casey Owens.
I think none of those guys have been like so. No one that's actually gone up there proper yet, I guess.
Oh, Ashton was there. Ashton Smith.
Oh, of course, there you did this year. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
And also one of my trainees, he was there. Who else was there? Dick Riley, Jack Sexsmith, Omari, Ridgeway. I know
loads.
There was also this is bad. I don't know.
That's
I know her real name. I know her real name. It's not wrestling name. It was I think it's Voodoo Queen.
Amara.
Yes.
Kemi.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah. I was with her last week.
She was there as well. And there were a couple of athletes who were there. There was a kickboxer there who was the same height. Who was the same height as me.
Wow.
Which
was Charlie Winston on that one?
No, he wasn't on that one. He was at the one a year. He was on the one where British Strong Style.
Okay.
He was on that one. So the trial was a good experience. I just remember being there, just being in the WWE ring, and also Andy Wild was there as well because I had a tryout match with him. I remember just being in that ring. I was like, "Wow, this is really surreal." So the guys who took it was Regal, Brookside, Johnny Saint, and also Marty Jones was there as well, which was having all British guys there as well.
I guess it kind of makes it feel a bit more. Or did it make it feel like a bit more like homely there because you've got the Brits and
of course
proper institution?
Because of course with those four guys, those guys, those ones who have brought British wrestling to a good place now, and they're wanting to help people progress and do well as well. So it felt more homely having those guys there, and also Yeston Reese and Jack Stars was there as well. Yes, there was there. So just having those trainers there added a lot more of a homely feel there as well.
How do they leave it when the kind of the tryout's over? Is it like they will contact you, or do they thank you for coming?
Well, because they thanked us all for coming. They gave us advice, on how to progress and how to do well, and they told us where the stages were and what their planning was moving forward. So, of course, they contacted us. I was contacted by. No, I was contacted by Regal.
Okay.
So he was telling me, gave me some really good feedback. It states that at the moment, they're doing a lot of things, but for other people at the moment. So his thing was just to get a bit more experience. Other shows. So just getting that feedback was really good because it was good feedback. It was good for me to progress. Of course, I would have loved to have taken part in the UK tournament, but it's also good to see the guys who are on it as well.
What's your take on the guys that have been picked this year? Because we were in the car when it was announced. Yeah, we were on the way to where were we off to? Was that Future?
I think it was.
So we were in there when the second half was announced.
Yeah,
I'm still surprised that there's that many returnees.
Yeah,
I was kind of hoping for a kind of the spotlight for more people, but what's your take on it?
I was quite thrilled, to be fair. I mean, there's some who I was surprised at, who I wasn't expecting, but it was a good surprise. Definitely seeing Ashton part of it is really good because
he was one of the. I'm trying to think of the split of how many people were new and how many people were in it last year.
From our,
it was quite even.
From our tryout, it was just Ashton who's in it. But one of the reasons why I'm happy about it is because there are moments where Ashton has really picked me up in training. Like he's been strict with me and been as harsh as anything to me in training, but harsh in a good way.
Yeah, well, I think
he wants to see us progress.
It might have been RJ that posted up about there's two types of feedback you'll get. One from people that are just like they're your friends and they'll just be like, yeah, that was cool. Yeah. And one from people that will actually give you the honest truth and say, because it's not personal. You know, if you sucked at something, you need to be told that you sucked at something.
Yeah, I have friends who, if I have done something that's bad, they will let me know. Yeah. And I won't lie, I will probably, sometimes I'll take it to heart, but I'll be happy in a way, because if I've done something that's terrible, I would hate for them to blank it and say, "Oh yeah, this is really good." When naturally, if I watched it back, I'm like, "Oh no, that was really bad. Why did I think it was good?" But yeah, as far as the UK tournament guys, thrill more than anything, because it still gives an opportunity for everyone else, and it gives the world a chance to see what the British scene is all about as well.
True. I'm just going to get 8, 9. So 9 of them are new, and that would make 7 of them returning. So actually, it's a bit more of it's a bit less uneven as I thought maybe. But is there anyone that you think is going to be like the next breakout? Because I think last year everyone was expecting Pete Dunne to win it, and that's why it was kind of cool when he didn't, I guess. But is there anyone that you're thinking is at that level now where they're ready to take on Pete and the world is ready to see them?
There's a few. I will say Gibson. I would say Gibson is one of them. He's had a match.
Yeah, I think that was the name I had in my mind.
He's had a match with Pete at Future Shock. I didn't see it, but from what I got told, it was really good. I'd say Zach. I think, and I know people are gonna. The thing is, it's like people say stuff like if it's experience and all that stuff. I think Zach could. Ashton could, Amir. I think Amir could have the possibility. Even though
he's come out of no, because I think it was a few months ago I was first made aware of him after he just off his entrance, I think, at a home show, and all of a sudden everyone's talking about him, and then 6 weeks later, bang, he's on the tour. Obviously it's not just that. Obviously, if you're around me, Jordan, you've been doing this probably a lot longer than I even realised. But he kind of came out of nowhere.
All those guys could. My favourites would be Zach, Ashton, Amir. I'd say Tyson T-Bone as well. That would be very good to see. I'm not sure if they've had a match. I'm not sure if they've had a match together with Tyson T-Bone people. I'm not sure if they had. But those two, those picks would be my favourites. My favourites going into it.
Actually, looking, I've just seen there. Jack Gallagher's already beaten Drew Gulak, so he's gone through presumably. One of the guys I was quite happy is Dave Mastiff. I for some reason, I'm a big TNA guy. I was, should I say? I haven't really watched it for a year. Ever since they really lost everybody. But when he was on British Boot Camp, I think he was one that stood out for me personally. So I'd love to see him do well. What are your thoughts on? I was about to say what your thoughts on people like Drew Gulak being there, who's not even. He's from America, but he's not in there anymore, I guess. So I think Travis Banks is the only guy that's not kind of local, but being the Progress champ, I guess that's kind of like an automatic ticket in. Who's your pick for?
Well, the thing is, though, I'll just touch upon the thing with Travis, that when he came down, because I remember he came down to one of our sessions 2 years ago with T-Bone. Okay. So I didn't know who he was, and I researched. I was like, oh, this is who he is. But he would, as far as someone who travelled with Tyson T-Bone, to get a bit more experience and things like that, and of course get his craft. And he's worked hard for everything's done. One of my favourite matches he had was against Sonor Durson. Okay. Sonor Durson, who's based up north, who's really good. Him and Travis Banks had a really, really good match. Sonor Durson, I'll just touch upon him real quick. He's also had a really good match with Flash Morgan Webster as well. So he's based up north, and this is sometimes one of the things, and this gets mentioned on social media, and I do my best to put my friends on social media. I'm not saying that I'm in a position to, because of haven't been doing it for that long, but I know what I see and what I like. There's loads of people, I guess, who are quite good, and because they might not be considered as probably like the big top mainstream stars, they don't get recognized as much. But they could do so many good things in the ring that it doesn't get seen. Like Sonor Durson, for example, who's been doing this for a few years. Joey Hayes as well. He was one of my trainers in PCW. He's been doing this for about 15, 16 years, and he's so creative. He's mainly wrestles up north, but I feel like if places got in contact with him from to wrestle, like places down south, they'd definitely be in for a treat.
There is definitely a split of like north and like. So I'm very familiar with people out east. Because that's where a lot of my bookings are, but I don't necessarily know the people up north or the people out west. And
well, one day just take a trip, get a carload of people, take a trip up north, and come to one of the shows in the northwest. I guarantee that you won't be.
Oh no! But this is the thing. I think you said earlier about the working everywhere else gets you to meet and work with new people, and that's the thing. I love like today. There's like out of the 6 matches, I know pretty much everybody bar maybe 2 guys, and those 2 guys I can't wait to see them because it's a new thing. I love seeing new different talents. Definitely a pro thing. We are actually we're almost at an hour. So I'm thinking so that's I think it's getting close to wrapping up time. But 5 people you want to work with like that you haven't worked yet. Is there anyone that you really want to get in there with? And
I'd say with regard into singles, I would say Mark Davis from Aussie Open. Tyson T-Bone.
That'd be a good match.
Rampage Brown.
Okay, yeah.
That's 3 heavyweights. I'm probably going to mention in times of like probably somebody cruiserweight. This is really different. I'd say Maverick Mayhew in the singles.
Yeah, that would be a fun match.
That'd be good. And I need to think of one more. I would say one day. Just on a friendly competition, I'd say JML. Partner. Just in like a friendly.
Have you? So you never faced him 1-on-1 before, like?
No, we haven't. I'd just say like once he gets better, because he's currently in the shelf at the moment. Just as a friendly contest, because we're both like tag partners, we're also best friends, and sometimes the best friends can bring the best out of each other.
Of course,
so I'd definitely say that.
Yeah, cool. I will say we'll try. If they're listening. They now know. Yeah. You're out for it. Social media, where can we find you on the intranets?
I've got my Instagram as I am Big T Justice. My Facebook page is Big T Justice. My Twitter is just Big T Justice. I also have a Big Cartel. It's the Big T Shop.bigcartel.com. And those are where you can find me on social media.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining me, dude.
Thanks very much.
It's been a fun way to skip out on ringside.
Just to be clear, if anyone's listening, we did help out with the ring. We took stuff out, we put some stuff together. There's enough people there
that was very tongue-in-cheek.
So we did help out with the ring.
Yeah, of course. Cheers, buddy.
Thanks for having me.